All right, and welcome to 6-5 Right Triangle Review. Now, in problem number 5, it says find the area of triangle HKJ. So we know that our area formula is equal to 1/2 times the base times the height. Now, in this case, if you're using a cell phone calculator, I always want you to turn that 1/2 into a 0.5 times. It looks like our base is comprised of a 12 and a 3. Remember, part plus part is equal to the whole, so 12 plus 3 will be 15. Oh, times, and now we want to go ahead and plug in our height. Now, how in the world are we going to find the height? Let's call this A, let's call this B, and let's call this C. If you will recall that line C is in fact an altitude. Oh, an altitude. And what is our rule for an altitude? Okay, our rule for an altitude is that A times B is equal to C squared. If you'll recall, this is the geometric mean. So we see that A is 12 times our B value, which is 3, is equal to C squared. Well, what's 12 times 3? That would be 36 is equal to C squared. And how do you get rid of a square? Well, we take the square root. And so we know that the square root of 36 is actually just 6. So our C value, or our height here, is 6. If you multiply those three numbers together, you will get the area of this triangle. Alright, let's move on to our next example. Okay, here we have problem number 6. It says find the length of IJ. So let's see, here's IJ on the bottom. Let's give that the letter X. When given angle JHI, so there's JHI is 54 degrees and IH is 7.2. Now notice I should have also told y'all this is a right triangle, and from here, since we have an angle and a side, let's use some trigonometry. Our arrow points to the hypotenuse, and we'll notice that when we circle our relevant angle, the 7.2 is our adjacent side, which means that this side X is the opposite. Now recall, we always want to get rid of the useless piece of information, so which one of these three sides really doesn't help us out? Well, of course, that would be the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse does not help us out at all. Since we're using the adjacent and the opposite, we'll go ahead and use our tangent function. So tangent theta is equal to the opposite over the adjacent. Now from here, what I would do is I'd go ahead and plug in everything. I would say my theta is 54 degrees, and my opposite side is X over my adjacent 7.2. And from here, y'all simply have to solve for X. And I'll leave you to do this on your own. Good luck. Okay, for problem number 7. It says find the area of the triangle shown below, given HL is an altitude, and the JH is perpendicular to HK, so we just know that's a big right triangle right there. Since it's an altitude, we know that this line is perpendicular as well. We're given that JL is 12, and we're given that HL, let's see, where's HL, is 18. Okay, so if I were to give you all our area of a triangle formula, remember it's 1/2 the base times the height, and that can be written as 0.5 times our base. Well, we actually don't know the entire base right here. That's what we have to find. So I'll leave that as the letter B times our height, which is 18. Now from here, I will help y'all set this up. Remember, we could call this A, B, and C, and we could set up this formula. It's the geometric mean. A times B is equal to C squared, where our A terms is going to be 12 times B is equal to our C term, 18 squared. And the last thing I'll leave y'all with is 12 times B is 12B is equal to 18 squared, should be 324. Now from there, y'all have to solve for B, and once you solve for B, plug it in, and you'll get your final answer. Alright, let's move on to the next problem. Okay, problem number 8. Given HK is 18, so let's go ahead and label that. Find the perimeter of the triangle. So guys, let's say that this side right here was A, and here's B, and here's C. We're really looking for A plus B plus C, where we know that A is already 18. Now the other thing you should know, that if this is 30 degrees, then this must be 60, and we have ourselves a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So let's see, if that's 30 and that's 60, then we can say we have this formula where the short side is x, our hypotenuse is 2x, and our third side is x square roots of 3. Well, what does this really mean? To go from 2x to x, all you have to simply do is divide by 2. So what would it look like to divide 18 by 2? Well, 18 divided by 2 would be at 9. And then to go from x to x squared roots of 3, you simply multiply by the square root of 3. So 9 times the square root of 3 is 9 square roots of 3. And so our b value is 9, our c value is 9 square roots of 3, and if you add up these three numbers, you will get the correct answer. Alright? I'll see y'all in our next video.